Hello, good morning all of you. I am G. Sushma of Botany department and I am going to teach you plant taxonomy and embryology of third semester. So what is a taxonomy? We are going to learn all the things regarding fundamental components of the taxonomy, which includes identification, nomenclature and classification. And next topic is taxonomic resources, which is having herbarium with its functions, important herbariums and also botanical gardens. The last topic is botanical nomenclature. It includes the principles and rules of ICBN. So what are the rules which are included in the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature? Okay, so our regarding topic, first topic is what is taxonomy? We are going to know the taxonomy is a branch. It is a branch of botany which deals with the classification. Particularly, the classification is done by the identification. So, these are the components we are going to know. What is a taxonomy means? The taxonomy group of any rank is called a taxon, and it is basically concerned with the classification of organisms, and it is a group of plants unique with the several aspects assigned to a species. So these species are grouped into genera which are very similar in species, and similarly which is having similar genera, they are grouped into families, and then families are grouped into orders and so on. So what is taxonomy means? It is a lawful arrangement of objects into groups. So where it is derived? The word taxonomy is derived from the Greek word, which means taxis mean arrangement and nomos mean law or rule. So the term taxonomy was coined by Augustin Pyramus de Candolle in 1813 in his book Theoria Elementae de Botanique. Okay, so it is a famous book which is concerned with the taxonomic topics and also very familiar research work regarding. And then the fundamental components of taxonomy include identification, nomenclature and classification. So what is meant by identification? The plants are identified by the known plant specimens. So it is a determination of an unknown plant specimen with the known plant specimens. So with based on the similarities and dissimilarities which is having already known taxon, we are determining the new plant, that is right now. Okay, floras, monographs, manuals and journals, these are various elements which are said to be important sources of the literature. Royal Botanical Gardens at Kew in England, it is the largest herbarium which is having an international center also called for plant identification. The Botanical Survey of India, which is well known in our country for the plant identification. So Botanical Survey of India is well developed only because of one famous personality called Janaki Ammal. We have to remember her work regarding the B.Sc. Okay. And next we are going to the topic nomenclature. Providing a correct scientific name to an identified plant is called a nomenclature. So we are identified already the plant which is unknown. And when we are identified already, it must have a proper name. The proper name should be not the vernacular or local. So it should have some name which is identified overall, not the country and also the world. So nomenclature of plants is governed by International Code of Botanical Nomenclature through its rules and recommendations. So the basic rule is called binomial nomenclature followed by naming of plants, which is having bi means two. The two words of the plant name indicates genera and species. So the two words, which is the plant having first word is called genera with a capital letter. It starts from capital letter. And then species, which is having starting with a small letter. These two words are called a binomial nomenclature. Next, classification. It is necessary to study all the plants in an organized manner and place them into large or small groups based on their similarities. Each taxa is given a name like a species. The species is the basic unit in which similar plants are grouped. So the similar species are grouped into genera and so on, as we already discussed. So the classification is based on ranking system, which is popularly known as a Linnaean system. So what is a Linnaean system? Binomial nomenclature is already taught by Linnaeus for the first time. And then we are going to the taxonomic resources. So what are the resources regarding the taxonomy? The first one is herbarium. So what is herbarium? It is a collection of preserved plant specimens arranged according to some known system of classification to facilitate identification, nomenclature and preserve the record of plants. So first we have to collect the plants. The plants are collected regarding to the vegetation in some area or locality. Okay, so the collected plant specimens are to be preserved for a long duration. It is to be facilitated by the identification and followed by the nomenclature. So next, the word herbarium was applied by Pitton de Tournefort in his book Elements. So we have already known the book called Theoria Elementaire de la Botanique, which is already we have learnt. So the book now we are learning about the Pitton de Tournefort in his book called Elements. Certain plants properly dried and pressed, taking care and retain all the essential parts necessary for the identification. So what are the plants dried and pressed? Those are called mesophytes. So not the aquatic plants. Aquatic plants have a special procedure to dry and press. So we are having only mesophytes which are properly dried and pressed. We must retain all the essential parts, that is particularly reproductive parts. So what are reproductive parts? Flowers and then fruits. Also some are having medicinal uses from roots and leaves. So we are also retaining those parts regarding. Okay. And then what is the role of herbarium? A herbarium serves as safe place for storing pressed plant materials collected from different parts of the world. So we are collecting plant specimens from different parts of the world and also we are preserving within us. Thus they provide at one place basic material for the study of flora and vegetation of different places or regions. Okay, so we are providing a basic material by preserving this herbarium. The plant collections in herbarium provide the physical evidence of vegetation of a region which may be destroyed due to some natural catastrophes. So what is the purpose of herbarium? So we need herbarium because some having the natural catastrophes and the vegetation is spoiled there in their locality. And then we are having the evidence like a herbarium within us. And then the specimens in the herbarium carry valuable data on their labels. Thus, herbaria provide data for ethnobotanical and phytogeographic studies. So, we are having the herbarium plant specimens. But what is the plant and what is the locality we are collected from? So, it is having a valuable data regarding labels. So, there is a label which include locality collected by and also what is the plant local name, also the scientific name or family and so on. Okay. OCHA specimens preserved in various herbaria provide an index of specimens on which studies on chromosomes, phytochemistry, palynology, etc. have been undertaken. So, some of the herbaria, national and international herbaria having the plant specimens along with their pollen grains and the pollen grains are used for the study of pollen, which is called a palynology. And also the chemical constituents present within the plant, which is called a phytochemistry. And also the gynoecium having the chromosomes. It is also very important for our studies and also research work. Monographs of genera or families are prepared by studying the herbarium specimens. So we already taught about the monographs and journals. Okay. And then model herbaria are utilized as reference centers for identification of plants by botanists doing research work in taxonomy, pharmacology, ecology, agriculture, etc. So nowadays the herbaria is very modelist, which includes taxonomy, pharmacology, ecology and agriculture, because these are the subjects which are very useful in the research purposes. The list of endangered specimens of any region can be prepared only by verifying herbarium specimens. So some of the plants which are endangered and also endemic, so those are to be preserved properly because they are said to be endangered species. The classification of world flora is based on the herbarium material. So we are having some flora in the only plant specimens of herbariums, particularly preserved type. So there we have the collection, but there is no plant material on the land. Then the classification is to be altered. So we have also the classification of world flora based on the herbarium material. And then herbaria preserve the national plant wealth and provide scientific information to the public regarding the plants. So we are having more than thousands of medicinal plants in India, which are very useful and to be explained to many persons in various purposes. Okay, so we are explaining with the plant specimens and so that they can recognize easily and can identify. It is also said to be a national plant wealth. Okay, and then big herbaria provide training facilities to young students in herbarium practices. So we have already taught that we are having the national and international herbaria. So those are also providing the training facilities to the students. And what are the major herbaria of the world? So Royal Botanical Gardens, which is present in Kew, England, it is the international herbaria, and also include many major herbaria. Museum of Natural History, Paris, France. New York Botanical Gardens, Bronx, which is present in USA. Botanical Survey of India, it is seen in Calcutta of India. National Herbarium, it is present in Leiden, Netherlands. So we have already taught that Botanical Survey of India is the our national identification herbaria, which is having a hundreds and thousands of plants with the plant specimens that are preserved, which are major herbaria of India. So Botanical Survey of India having the various branches within India. So what are the branches regarding? The first central institute is located in the Central National Herbarium, B.Sc, that is Calcutta, and it is having a various centers called Herbarium of Forest Research Institute, which is present in Dehradun, and 5 centers, which is Central Circle located at Allahabad, Eastern Circle located at Shillong, Southern Circle that is located in Coimbatore, Western Circle located in Pune, Northern Circle that is located in Dehradun. And how the herbarium is prepared? First we are having the tools and equipment. So what are the tools expected? First one is called field press. It is made up of a pair of hardwood, metal or strong plywood frames of 12 by 18 inch. So it is a field press which is made up of a hardwood. So it is very strong and also useful to carry from one place to other place. Next we are also having the blotting papers or old newspapers. So these newspapers are useful for pressing the plant specimens which are collected from the field. Next we are having field notebook. This field notebook is useful to note from several objects like collection, locality, habitat, botanical name of the plant, local name, collector name, etc. And also next vasculum. So it is a container which is useful and also made of tin or aluminium sheet which is having a hinged light lid. So plants or sometimes we can't press within the field so that we can carry the vasculum and preserve them in the vasculum for 24 hours. And when we return to the laboratory, we can press within the blotting papers or old newspapers. Until then, the vasculum can carry the plant specimens which are collected. And then hand lens. So what is the purpose of hand lens? A pocket-sized hand lens is used in the field for observation and identification of the smaller plants. So what are the mesophytes we are saying that? These are mesophytes, very visible plants. But we are also having bryophytes and small plants which are can't observed by with naked eye. So hand lens is necessary during the herbarium collection. A pair of secateurs for cutting woody twigs of the plants. So some plants having the woody twigs which are can't cut with our hand or small blade itself. So secateurs are also useful at that time. A small digger or trowel for digging up roots and underground parts. So we are having a plant called Hemidesmus indicus and also Rolfia serpentina, which are very medicinally useful plants, and also their root is very important. So we have to dig from those roots and also preserve them. So then we need the digger or a trowel. A sickle with long handle pruning shears and a knife to cut twigs for trees and shrubs. So what is a sickle? It is having a long handle and also a knife to cut the twigs. Some trees and shrubs are cut by the those twigs. Okay. Next one. So